Welcome to the Roper St. Francis Video Library. In this video, we will review notes and documentation in Cerner. There are many types of notes and documents in a patient's chart. You'll want to know where to find these notes to review the chart, as well as how to create your own notes to document your care of the patient. When you first launch Dragon PowerChart, you're actually launching two programs. Dragon Medical One and PowerChart, which is Cerner, will launch simultaneously. The Dragon Medical One login window allows you to specify which microphone you would like to use. The microphone attached to the computer with a cord is called a Power Mic. You'll see Power Mic 2 or Power Mic 3 in the microphone drop-down. If you're at a workstation that does not have a Power Mic, you can use the drop-down selection for microphone to select Nuance Power Mic Mobile. This is an optional app you can put on your smartphone that allows you to use the smartphone as a microphone. Click OK to continue logging in. Behind the Dragon Medical One login window, you'll see the PowerChart login window. Log into PowerChart using your username and password. We won't go into any great detail regarding Dragon in this video, but we have two Dragon training video bundles available for you to watch if you would like to know more about Dragon. Please use the link at the bottom of the page at rsfh.com/provider-training. You'll see two bundles on this page. Bundle 1 provides a basic overview of Dragon Medical One. Bundle 2 includes optimization videos for things like the options menu, creating custom vocabulary and custom auto texts, as well as step-by-step commands. Once you have launched Dragon PowerChart, you will see a Dragon toolbar on your PowerChart screen. You can reposition this toolbar by clicking and dragging, or you can minimize it altogether using the dash to prevent it from blocking parts of your PowerChart screen. One last thing before we get into notes. When you are finished using the computer, it's best practice to leave Dragon running and also leave PowerChart running. Just use your badge to tap out of the computer so that the workstation is ready for the next user. If you exit or close PowerChart, meaning you click the exit door or the red X in the top right corner, this leaves your Dragon program running in the background. You will experience problems logging into the next workstation, as there is already a Dragon program under your credentials running. Okay, let's get started looking at documentation in Cerner. The most efficient place to review and create notes is on your workflow page. The workflow page is designed to allow you to review the patient's chart and make notations as you review, in effect writing your note as you review. In this demonstration, we will create a history and physical for this patient. All patients need a signed history and physical within 24 hours of admission. An H&P must be on the chart prior to surgery or a procedure requiring sedation or anesthesia. I'll begin by navigating to the Admit tab on my workflow page. The workflow page is designed to pull pertinent information onto one page so that I can complete chart review and write a note when I'm finished reviewing. I can review the patient's chief complaint, then diagnoses, look at any documents that have been written, review labs and vitals, etc. The workflow page also contains empty free text fields for subjective history of present illness, objective physical exam, and review of systems. The fields on the workflow page can be shuffled to allow you to review the chart in the order you desire. For example, if you prefer to review labs before you read the notes on the chart, click and drag labs to appear before documents. To review this patient's chart and prepare for my H&P, I'll review starting with chief complaint, moving down the list. Labs will appear color-coded with critical labs in red with an exclamation point, high labs in orange with an up arrow, and low labs in blue with a down arrow. By clicking Documents, I can read all of the notes that have already been written on this patient's chart. There are 3 notes on this patient's chart. I can click the subject to see a preview of that note. Clicking the subject again will close the preview. Next, I'll review vital signs, again color-coded, highs, lows, and critical. The Subjective History of Present Illness box is an empty free text box where I can utilize Dragon or I can type to document a history of present illness. Whatever I document in this box will automatically pull into my note as I create it in a moment. Any diagnostic exams already performed on this patient will also be pulled into this page automatically. Clicking on the name of the exam will display the report. Intake and output will display. You can also expand these sections to see details. I can review the patient's home medication list, as well as last dose date and time, and compliance. The Review of Systems box is a free text box. Here I can dictate with Dragon, I can type, I can also use shortcuts in Cerner called auto text or dot phrases. These are templates that allow you to use keyboard shortcuts for faster documentation. The shortcut for Review of Systems template is $R. By typing a period and $R in this field, a small box will pop open, allowing me to select either a complete or short Review of Systems template. Double-click to choose the one I want. This will pull open a template, which I can edit to be specific to my patient. This template is designed with brackets surrounding each system's description. The brackets make navigating the template easier if you're using Dragon dictation. You will want to remove any brackets prior to signing your note. Edit the Review of Systems to be specific for the patient. As with Review of Systems, the Objective Physical Exam section is an empty free text box where you can use Dragon dictation, you can type, or you can use a keyboard shortcut. The keyboard shortcut or dot phrase for physical exam is $P. Typing $P provides a pop-up box where I can select a complete or a short physical exam template. Double-click to choose the one you want. This template is pre-built with brackets surrounding each selection. This allows you to move through the template faster if you're using Dragon dictation. You'll want to remove the brackets prior to signing your note. Edit the template to be specific to your patient. You can create your own templates for Review of Systems and physical exam. Although we do not demonstrate that in this video, the training team is happy to help you create auto text that will help you become more efficient in Cerner. You can also look up your colleagues' auto texts and copy them to your Cerner account. We're happy to work with you to show you how. Moving on, we can review pathology, microbiology, as well as histories including procedure history, family history, and social history. Now that I've reviewed the patient's chart, at the bottom of my workflow page, I'll click the link Admission, History, and Physical to create a history and physical for this patient. The History and Physical template will open and will include any documentation that I created on the previous screen. The template is already set up to pull in procedure and surgical history, the problem list, family history, social history, and at the bottom the assessment and plan, which are the diagnoses that you entered. You can add or modify any items you wish directly in the note. In the bottom right corner, you have several options. Save saves the document so that you can come back at a later time and finish writing the note. Saved notes are only visible to their author. Until they are signed, no one else can read that note in the chart. Sign Submit finishes the note to make it part of the chart. I'll click Sign Submit. Once you click Sign Submit, you need to review to ensure you have the correct note type, an appropriate note title, and the correct date of service. This is the chronological date at which you want this note filed in that patient's record. On the bottom of this screen, you can also send the note to another provider. If you need your notes co-signed by another provider, this is how you will send your note to that provider. Search for the provider by last name. Select the provider. Click OK. Designate if the provider needs to sign this note or just review the note. This note will be sent to the designated provider's message center box. Click Sign. Let's take a look at where that note is filed in Cerner. Refreshing the Admit tab, we'll have Cerner look for new information, including the H&P I just created. The Documents section of the Workflow page now includes my H&P. I can click the subject and review my note here. My note can also be found in the Notes section of the menu. Selecting the History and Physical Reports folder and clicking the teal arrow at the bottom will expand the folder so that I can review the notes inside. The note can be found in the Documentation section of the chart as well. Selecting Documentation on the menu, I can see a list of any documents that have been written on this patient's chart. When reviewing notes in Documentation, know that Documentation is just a long list of any notes that have been written in the patient's chart. This list can become pretty long, so you can use the drop-down filter at the top to select All Physician Notes if you wish to exclude notes written by other clinicians. You can also create custom documentation filters. We won't get into that in today's video, but the training team can help you with this later. Let's practice one more note. This time we'll create a progress note for the patient. Let's return to the Workflow page. This time we'll select the Manage tab. The Manage tab is very similar to the Admit tab, but it contains different note links at the bottom. I can still review the chart from this screen, make notations as I prepare for my progress note, I can also select portions of previous notes to include in my new progress note. I'll select the Documents, and I will open up the H&P that I wrote the day before. Now I can select any text I wish by highlighting it with the mouse. When I release the mouse button, I see a button that says Tag. Click Tag. This information will be available to use in my progress note in a moment. I can close this note. Labs can also be tagged for inclusion in a note. To tag labs from the Workflow page, right-click on the lab value you wish to include and select Tag. If there's more than one lab value you wish to include, you can hold down the Control button on your keyboard and click the different lab values you want to include. As long as you hold down the Control button, you can continue to click and select different labs. When you're finished making your selections, release the Control button and click the Tag button on the right. Please note that tagging labs is not the only way to include labs in your notes. We also have many auto texts available that will pull in labs. The training team can provide a list of helpful auto texts that you can use in your notes. At the bottom of your workflow page, select the appropriate note you wish to create. I'll create a hospitalist progress note. Note that the labs I tagged are pulled into the note automatically. The text I tagged is available on the left-hand side of the page under Tag Text. Cerner does not assume where I want that to appear in my note. To bring it into the note, click and drag and drop that into the appropriate section of the note. You can type, dictate, use auto text in this note to edit any information, then sign Submit when you're finished. Again, verify you have the right type, title, and date of service. Then click Sign. We looked at creating 2 notes using the workflow pages. This is the most efficient way to review the chart and write your note at the same time. You can, however, click the plus Add button next to Documentation on the menu. This will take you straight to the documentation screen. First, you'll need to select a note type. Then you can select a template from the list of templates on the right. Each template is a bit different. If you use certain templates frequently, you may wish to click the star icon on the left side of the template, and the star will turn gold. This makes the template a favorite. Your favorites are listed under the Favorites button. To use one of the templates to write a note, double-click the template name. This will open the template for editing. I can type or dictate into the fields on the template. When finished, I'll click Sign Submit and proceed with signing the note. That was a quick overview of notes and documentation in Cerner. Thank you for watching. If you need help or to report an issue, contact the help desk at 843-212-8000. For non-urgent questions, email the training team at harbortraining@rsfh.com.